So what did you miss at Jubilee today? He is risen. He is risen indeed. But you didn't miss that. It's a universal message. Today at Jubilee we celebrated Easter. We celebrated at 8 o'clock outside in the labyrinth around a fire with fish cooking and bread, and we told stories of the resurrection from John's Gospel and told our own stories, and we sang and we listened to the birds and we prayed, and people drove by and walked by, and some even joined us. It was beautiful this morning. And then we went inside for a massive breakfast, thanks to Gary and a whole bunch of people who just worked so hard to feed, I think, about 100 people at breakfast, with pancakes and sausages and bacon and French toast and just more syrup than you can imagine. And then at 10:30 we celebrated our formal Easter service, and we were packed. A lot of people, and that was wonderful. The energy was spectacular. The choir sang Mozart's Te Deum, and they sang it in Latin, and you might wonder whether that's the best way to celebrate Easter, and I got to tell you, wow, yeah. It's Mozart. And sure it was in Latin, but throughout the three movements I translated, except that I didn't. I just wondered about the Easter story. That's what we did together. We wondered about the Easter story. We had flowered the cross, bringing lights of flowers. We had taken away the cloths of our fears that we had built up over Lent. We have celebrated new life. We sang triumphal hymns with major chords and, just all out there. And then we sat back and allowed the Mozart to lift us up. And as that happened, I wondered about the glory. And we talked about Easter not being a victory lap for Jesus, not a moment for Christians to go, oh, my God's better than yours. But in fact, to recognize that Jesus emerges from the tomb and doesn't go to Herod and Pilate or the soldiers or the people who jeered or the ones who wanted him gone and say, nah, you couldn't do it. Instead, he goes to those who are hurting and afraid and grieving. He appears to Mary and says her name, and a connection is made. He goes to those who are hidden behind locked doors, afraid. He goes to those who have lost their faith. He goes to the people in need. That's what resurrection is. It's that acknowledgement that God comes to us where we are as we need God. Not to say, ha ha, told you so, but to say, Mary, Norman, to say our names and to invite us into relationship, invite us into transformation. And as we are transformed, as our world is transformed, we come to understand that Easter is not the celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's the promise that resurrection is real for us. Transformation is a real thing. So yeah, today we celebrated the resurrection of Jesus. That's what Easter is, and yet we celebrated that this resurrection is for us. It is the promise of transformation, not some historical tidbit that makes my faith different than yours or better than yours or somebody else's. In fact, it's a promise that we get to fulfill. The promise of new life and transformation, real change. That's what we celebrated at Easter today. Food, community, friendship, new friends, old friends, struggling, celebrating, grieving, dancing. We did all of that together today, and it was glorious. I'm sorry you missed it. But remember that Easter is for you. Transformation is a real thing. That there is hope, and it's real. There is light in the darkness. We have it to share, and God brings it to us where we are. Wow. It's a lot. Let's think on that, and hopefully we'll get to see you sooner than later. God bless.